Hey.
Hey.
We are back on the couch with the Galbreaths. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Mm-hmm.
It is a beautiful day here in Atlanta, and we've been busy, y'all. It's been a lot going on.
Seems like we stay busy.
Stay busy, but that speaks to how the creative culture in Atlanta is just always just thriving and moving, and that ecosystem, that wheel is turning.
Yeah.
You know?
Some of the wheel is turning, some of us, our brains are turning, and we keep trying out new stuff. So, because the beginning of our busyness was the Galbreaths collection mini book tour, right?
The book,
that was
everything.
That was a lot.
The book was everything. Amen.
The book was everything. Yeah. But we took On the Couch to St. Louis at 21C.
Yes. And by the way, okay, so not everybody knows I'm a hotel snob, but you see I'm lighting up. So mind you, 21C is one of our favorite hotel brands.
21C Museum Hotel.
Museum Hotel. Mm-hmm. Well, 21C St. Louis recently opened.
Yes.
And we had a artist talk for our book.
So on the couch.
We were on a couch, y'all. Another couch. Like, mind you, it was leather. It was nice. Okay, but I love our couch. Okay.
I like our couch.
But we were on another couch
yes.
in St. Louis in the art gallery gymnasium, talking about our experience in Atlanta.
Yeah.
In Atlanta.
And hoping to inspire all of the attendees to support the local art community in which they live and benefit, right? Yeah. So, yes, our story is about Atlanta and our connection to Atlanta and our Atlanta collection. However, this can be replicated, our efforts can be replicated, and you can support wherever you are. And remember to buy locally and support local artists.
And what I love about those conversations is that we were telling people how they can support.
Yes.
Like they're your art collectors, they're your artists, they are your curators, they're supporters of the arts without necessarily buying the artwork. Like they're like liking and they're big upping artists. And I mean, there was just a plethora of things that we connected with people on.
Yeah. So that was nice.
And then we came back here.
Yes.
And got back to what we do.
What else did we do?
In all those facets. Okay, so let me think about this. Okay, so we have had the high school student art exhibit.
Yes.
And that was amazing. Okay, so don't forget, I'm a teacher at Westlake High School. Shout out Lions, okay? And, I mean, we had 79 pieces of artwork.
Right.
And it was at Adama's Art Space.
At Pittsburgh Yards.
Yeah. And I mean, it was immaculate. Shout out to Epic Flavors who catered. They had their DJ.
Yes, DJ Maestro. Yes.
Yeah, so they had like this real art professional moment.
Now, this year was amazing.
Yes.
But we have been doing this through the Youth Artist Program because we believe that young artists should be celebrated, right?
Exactly.
And their work, when we display their work, it should be displayed in such a way that makes them feel like they are the superstars that they are.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting that when a basketball team plays, we don't expect them to play anywhere else than a gym, right? Yeah. It may not be as big as a professional basketball arena, but we expect them to play inside of a gym. And so when students have their art exhibit, it may not be inside a museum or, the High Museum or whatever space, but we expect the gallery space to be nice.
Yeah.
So just, I don't know. Part of it is like, yes, big ups. This year was amazing and it was beautiful, but it was a continuation of the efforts that have been put in to really highlight the students' work and how hard they work and the way in which they should be celebrated.
And this is why this is significant, because when students get to sell their artwork in high school, okay, and they get to display their artwork and they're celebrated, then they transition to young emerging artists, okay? Know where I'm going with this? Because we always doing things, got done with
We're not finished.
We're not even finished with it.
No.
We displayed an exhibit at Hidden Gallery at Peachtree Station called Next.
Yes.
And we're very excited about that because there may be some other iterations of it later.
Yes.
But it is featuring Lamar Bailey.
Yes.
And Christian Alexander.
Yes.
Who are former high school students at Westlake High School and former Youth Artist Program participants.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
And they now are emerging artists, practicing professionally, showing their work. They both participated in Articulate previously.
Yep.
But yeah, like, so when I married you, I've shared this before, and I don't know that I've shared it broadly.
Okay.
But I had family members who were like, "You okay with marrying a teacher? Like, he just a teacher. Like, you okay with that?"
Girl, I question it.
And I was like, "Nah, but like, he's really good at what he does. Like, I wouldn't marry a teacher who hated it. Like, he don't make enough money to hate what he does. Like, he gotta love it." And so not only did I see your love for the students, I felt like you were a really, really good teacher. I didn't see the benefit of watching your students grow and mature and reach levels of success. Like we've been together for 15 years. And so I've known Lamar and Christian almost that long. And I've seen other students kind of matriculate, but not just in your classroom, like to see them beyond your classroom and to come back and all of those things. Like it's like we say, like, okay, proud teacher. Like you're a proud teacher. You look at your students' success and you can be proud of them. But I'm a proud teacher wife.
Yeah.
Like I get to see and experience those rewards. And I didn't know that would be a part of the reward system.
Yeah.
So thank you for letting me be part of that.
It made me cry.
Oh.
Because I mean, like really, like I wanted to cry seeing Lamar and Christian sell their work. I'm seeing them work the room. Okay.
Yeah.
They were talking, they were articulating about their work.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. It was really great.
No, that was a beautiful culminating experience in a way that I don't know. That was a bit of a first, right? So between the student art exhibits, which are always amazing, but then within that same week to open their show and to curate the show and to help them with it and to watch them sell their work, that has been a bit of a full circle moment within our marriage and with me being able to support you as a teacher's wife, right? Just in that teacher wife role. Like that was nice. So thank you.
That's cool. And what's so interesting about the work and the exhibits that we have here, especially for the kids, right?
Okay.
Is that this is our home. Like this is not just Atlanta, okay? So Castleberry Hill is like our entryway into our art lives.
Okay.
And you know, like it's kind of crazy because I mean, this is like our gateway into
the space that we occupy now.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Because even the display, I mean, like even the work and how it's on the walls, the amount of art that we have on the walls, it's because of this, like Peter Street, Bradbury, Walker Street, this art creative district, right?
Right. So we've been in the neighborhood. We've lived here just celebrating 10 years in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But our introduction to the neighborhood goes back to really for almost as long as we've been together. Like we've been together 15 years and we were probably introduced to the neighborhood within a year or two of that.
A lot of people don't know we used to teach paint and sip classes. So, I mean, think about that. I mean, we used to sit in a room of 16, 20 patrons that have paid to have wine and paint a 16 by 20 canvas. And we hosted them at James Holder's house right down the street.
Initially.
Yeah, it's crazy because, that's a whole nother art life.
Right.
Compared to what we do now, right?
It's different, but it was a part of it. So we hosted the paint and sips there. And interestingly enough, James is going to be a guest on the couch.
Oh,
so super looking forward to that. But a dear friend, a neighbor, he photographed our wedding.
Amazing photographer. Been in Articulate.
Photographed all the images in the book.
Yeah.
For the Galbreaths collection. So him, but also remember we hosted Paint and Sips at Alfonso's space.
Oh, wow.
Who's also going to be a guest on
listen, this couch going to be full, okay? This couch is going to be full.
Everybody ain't here at the same time.
Yeah. Well,
But
that would be weird, though. That would be a really interesting show.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
No, but Castleberry and what it has meant to us. Like, I don't know. Talk about that night we came for Flux.
Okay, so driving from Alpharetta, by the way, like every drive from Alpharetta is far. Okay, like that, that's not. This is not Atlanta. Okay, so Alpharetta
It's not Atlanta.
way up for 100, and driving in, especially like at night, you don't know exactly where you're going. So we hit Castleberry Hill after I think riding by used to be State Farm. It used to be State Farm Arena, right? Or it used to be Phillips Arena. And all of a sudden traffic just stops.
Mm-hmm.
And people in like little decorative like garments dance by the car. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, we're in the middle of Flux, this art festival. This is what this is.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even know how big it was. I mean, but I think we've heard numbers of like 10,000 people
plus
in the neighborhood.
Celebrating art.
Yeah. And I mean, there were art galleries on every corner at one point in Castleberry. And I think that set the stage for what we wanted our lives to be like here.
I think sometimes, like, there are these seeds that are planted and you don't really know where that goes, right? Like, you don't know what that means. You don't quite understand where it ends up. Like, they're seeds and they're being planted and they're in the recesses of your mind and they become these fruits later. Mm-hmm. And I think that was a part of it. But when we got ready to move into the city, we didn't necessarily say we wanted to live in Castleberry. We were looking at Old Fourth Ward. We were looking at Inman Park. We were looking at
Grant Park.
We were looking everywhere but Castleberry. Yeah. Like, it wasn't. And even when we started to look in Castleberry, you remember when the realtor wanted to show us this house, and because of where it was like,
we were not.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, we ain't got nothing else to see.
Pictures were awful. We were like, okay, it's on this little bit alleyway.
Yeah, we were like, I don't know. But I remember walking into this house, and it felt like home. All the other lofts and stuff we had looked at, they were cold to me. The concrete floors, the big open floor plans. I wanted something that felt like home, and I was worried that we weren't going to find a middle ground. I was like, how are we going to come together and find this middle ground? And you knew that it was the house when.
I mean, by the time you got the steps to the rooftop terrace, like, we didn't even know it had a rooftop deck, and by the time you got up there, you were literally like crying, like there was this little Denzel tear coming down.
Not a Denzel tear.
Little, glory. Yeah.
Glory. I had a glory tear.
And yeah, it just made me realize that this was going to be like our life. Like, this space was going to be our life.
And I don't think I even understood that, but I remember when we were getting ready to start living here, and I asked you, before we move in any furniture, I need you to put the artwork up. And the artwork for us at that point was like 6 pieces. Yeah, like 6 pieces.
On my hands, I can count it, which is crazy.
6 pieces, and 3 of them were yours. Like, 3 of them were your art pieces. Like, it wasn't like, but it was really important to me to have that work up in the space. Yeah. And I think that some of that was the beginning. But between the art collection, the art activations, the artist relationships, the relationship with Maya, all the things, I don't know how those happened if not for the neighborhood.
I think that this is the space where some of our friends and art colleagues have really started to see a personal side of us.
Okay.
Like Fahamo talks about you dancing on the couch, okay, for your 40th? No.
I think it was in my
39th birthday party, because we know how to throw a house party, okay? And him helping you off the couch. And I mean, Carl's been here from Off the Hook Barbershop, trying to get Troy up in here. That's Troy B on Peter Street, okay? Like, and I mean, he's this icon of our era.
In our neighborhood.
And he's this icon. He's king of Castleberry.
Yeah.
Like, we trying to get Troy on the couch.
So interestingly enough, I don't know, because remember, Maya's king of Castleberry, right?
Maya's king of Castleberry.
Maya is king of Castleberry. So I don't know what title we give Troy. Troy might be, because he wears the championship belt.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's Castleberry's champion for sure.
Yeah. I like that.
And probably a champion much beyond that. But yeah, like Castleberry, like, is a real special place, which It's part of the thought process behind what's next.
Okay, so George. I'm gonna talk about myself in third person, okay? Because that's what happens when you blow up, right? Okay. So George has had some solo art exhibits. Like, don't get me wrong, like we took our kids down to Baton Rouge to my solo art exhibit at Kristen Downing's art space.
Yeah.
Okay, called Gallery, right?
Uh-huh.
We have had an exhibit at 249.
Yes.
On Peter Street.
Yeah.
Okay. We had a solo art exhibit at Trap Music Museum. But August 2024.
Yes.
Castleberry Hill, get ready. Peter Street, Maya Bailey's new art space.
Old Rabbit.
We gonna open up a solo art exhibit by moi, okay? But it's all about our favorite subject, this neighborhood. We're representing, rendering, and I say we because y'all know Zoe like curates with me. Like we do all this, concepts and all, okay? But yeah, we're gonna represent the history of Castleberry, the present, the essence of it. And I mean, I'm excited about that.
I'm super excited.
Yeah,
it feels like your ode or your love letter, but ours as well, right? Because I hope that some of our story influences the artwork, right? Like it's not your story singular, but I can't say I've been this excited. Like previously, I was super excited about the exhibit at Trap Music Museum and the Bluff, right?
Yeah.
Like showing the Bluff through a different lens, through a different like different eyes, right? Like somebody else seeing it.
And getting to know it.
And getting to know it. Like the process was beautiful. But for Castleberry, like I remember when James did the documentary about Castleberry having the largest concentration of Black-owned businesses.
Yeah.
And so the essence of Castleberry, the culture of Castleberry, like what it always is, like the arts district, small businesses, small Black-owned businesses, like that's Castleberry. And that's what drew us to be here. And it's been such an integral part of our success and our my learning and growing.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to be immersed into Atlanta's art scene.
Yeah.
And Castleberry like did that for me. And so I'm looking forward to
all the stories, okay? I mean,
all the stories.
And we got some stories. Oh my gosh. Like I remember, it's inappropriate, but now listen, I mean, and it's not funny. It's just wild, okay? So I'm on Nelson Street Bridge painting. Like, I got a whole painting out.
Oh, the Nelson Street Bridge piece.
Yeah. I mean, and Nelson Street Bridge has been rebuilt at this point.
Beautiful. It was beautiful before.
It was beautiful before. And I was painting, a rendering, and I had as a matter of fact, I had State Farm Arena. I had Mercedes-Benz Stadium being built, okay? And
that was 2016, 2017.
And the former Georgia Dome right beside it that was not
demolished yet.
And these folks are fighting behind me on the bridge.
You say folks.
Drug addicts, is that a political term?
Politically correct?
Politically correct. Is that okay to say?
I mean, you can make assumptions as to what was going on.
Oh, yeah, I know what was going on, but they were fighting behind me, okay, over some stuff. We'll just call it stuff, okay? And I mean, but in the midst of that, they respected my artistry.
They didn't bother you.
They didn't bother me. They just let me do my own thing. I'm still painting. I'm like, Lord Jesus, help me. You know what I mean? But I'm painting. And I mean, they just went on about their business afterwards. And it was just, it reminded me of what I thought about downtown Atlanta
before
when we first
moved.
Yeah, like I was just like, there's so much balance here.
Right.
You know, because these creatives have come into this warehouse district and owned it. I mean, Carl talks about like owning his space. We own our space. We sit out on the sidewalk with our
Who needs a porch? We don't need
our
a
little
porch.
settee or whatever. You know what I mean? Bistro set, and we cross our legs. We have our wine, and people walk up and down the street doing whatever. And yeah, like that's Castleberry. This is Castleberry.
This is Castleberry.
Yeah. If you know 300, we say it like that. This is Castleberry. This is Sparta. But,
okay.
but I'm sorry. I know Yeah, I watch movies, y'all. She don't.
And I don't. Like the complete opposite.
Yeah, but yeah, no, like that's the part that's gonna be dope.
What are you looking forward to creating for the show? Like, what can we expect to see?
So, okay, so I'm kind of excited, right? And I don't know if it's gonna work because you're curating, so you're helping me, right? I'm excited about working with the materials of Castleberry. Like when you walk down the street in Castleberry, oh my God, okay, you might see a rooster, like because we got chickens in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry to get so excited. I guess that's my farm Missouri moment. But
I'm happy to see you excited.
yeah, like I mean, you're gonna see like pipes and wood.
And those hexagon pavers that are always coming up out of the ground.
And those hexagon pavers that get water trapped under them when you step on it, it'll bounce up and hit you in the head. There's everything. I mean, like trash. Like, I mean, the stuff, because we got so many clubs on the street, of course, but there's so much stuff and there's so much content. There's stories. Like, I walk by off the barbershop and people are talking about what Trump done did or like what something that happened on Love and Hip Hop. I mean, it's just wild. Talking about Cat Williams,
Yeah.
So I want to be able to tell those stories, and I think the audio component that you were talking about is going to be really dope. Okay. To hear the sounds of Castleberry and the conversations of Castleberry. Okay. Yeah. So I got too excited about that. Yeah.
I know sometimes when we're dealing with things that are personal to us, it becomes, we might get into our own heads in a different kind of way. So how is this show and your approach going to be different for it? Like, how do we work through that?
A lot of the content for the Bluff show and Trap Music Museum show was research. That like things I did not know. I didn't have any understanding of what happened in that community. And we were able to call on Joe Stewart, was able to basically introduce us to people that lived in the Bluff. One of the things that I like about Castleberry is I already know a lot of people that live here. We already know a lot of people that live here. Some of them we only talk to because we're all like, like separate, like...
little separate factions of people.
Yeah, people just don't want to be bothered in Castleberry. But speaking to some of the individuals that have lived here 30 years or worked here 30 years, that perspective is I think it's going to set things off in a whole nother way. Okay. And I'm excited about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for you.
But before that...
Before what?
Before we even get to my show, we got a lot going on.
We always have a lot.
We always have a lot going on.
We always have a lot going on.
But I am excited about...
Articulate
2024? On June 8th. June 8th.
Articulate number 12.
34, 35 artists.
35. 35 artists.
Totally lit. Expecting a plethora of people. Libations.
800 to 1,000 people. I think it's easy to say.
Libations, DJs, all the things. Lots of buying artwork. Don't forget that. And Atlanta Contemporary is a really great space to have the show.
We have... Somebody said today we manifested the space, but we have been a fan of that space. Yeah. We've desired that space since year 2, and we're year 12. So 10 years later, it becomes like an opportunity. And so sometimes, what they say, delayed does not mean denied. And for so much of the work we do, like I think it's important to remember that, because the work in the art space, the rewards aren't always immediate. Yeah. Like the seeds that hopefully we're sowing are fruits to be realized much later. Like we may not even be here to see those fruits. And Atlanta Contemporary is just a reminder of that. Like you can want a thing and a thing can be beautiful and great and grand. And you think it's your time. Yeah. But God and the universe determines when it's your time. Yeah. And this is our time, and I'm super excited for Articulate this year.
And we're giving 17 new artists out of those 35 an opportunity to show in an amazing space. So, yeah.
Like, and shout out to Floyd.
Shout out to Floyd. Congratulations on your position at Atlanta Contemporary. What's the title now?
Executive Director.
Executive Director. Well earned, well deserved. Yeah. And it's going to be lit. We are ready.
Are we going to try and take on the couch to Articulate?
Well, the journey does not end because we got some
Don't
more.
sound tired. Don't sound tired. Like you enthusiastic about all we got going on. You happy.
Let me wake up because there's a lot going on. Be on the lookout for a possible episode of On the Couch.
From Articulate. From
Articulate.
From Atlanta Contemporary.
From Atlanta Contemporary. Yeah.
That's what's up.
We might work that out.
That's what's up.
We're going to cheers to that? You got anything to cheers with? Okay.
I got something.
Cheers to that.